Hoor, from year to year we meet again and we see Dubai growing, glowing, shining, and inspiring the world. So great meeting you again. Great having you again with us as well here. What is Dubai doing to the world?
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for having me. Before we get into our very engaging conversation, I just want to say it's truly an honor to be here amongst this peer group. The camaraderie that is showcased in this beautiful, alliance is just it's something to aspire to, and this is one of the most engagements that I do enjoy every year.
Thank you. Great having you. So, Hoor, what is Dubai doing to the world? How is Dubai attracting the world? And what are the initiatives that Dubai is doing to, I wouldn't say only to create awareness, but to highlight this diversity in culture?
I mean, if we look at, obviously we have a very strong vision led by the city's leadership to be one of the most visited destinations in the world by the year 33, but I think, alhamdulillah, we're already kind of there, plus minus a few destinations every year when the numbers change. If we look at the numbers and figures today, January to September 2024, we were at 13.29 million visitors. That's 7% above the same period last year. And obviously last year was also a record-breaking year of 17 million visitors. So I think we're well on our way as we keep growing and we see year-on-year growth every year. When we look at aspects of this growth, because we always like to say internally what got us here, let's say I joined DET around 2013 or 2014. So it's been 10 years. So what got us to where we are the last 10 years is not going to get us to the next 10 years, right?
Yeah.
There's always you have to do more. You have to do things differently. It's a much bigger, let's say, frontier.
Yeah, and we see many changes as well.
Exactly, and the world is changing, and there are things that are at play now. Elements like AI and other elements that were not even at play 10 years ago, at least not visibly. And when we look at that leap that we are to take for the next 10 years, we have to look at certain elements. So, for example, accessibility is one of them. Sustainability is another one. Cultural diversity, I think, is not new to Dubai. I'll touch on that since you asked about it specifically. It's something that I personally believe as someone who's from Dubai, who's always lived here. Dubai is my home, and it's always been part of the fabric of Dubai. We're always super proud to say that we're home to almost 200 nationalities. We never claimed to have built this city alone. It's not a secret that the Emirati or the local community is a small percentage of the total population. And I think that was part of the vision that the original founder of modern Dubai, who's the late Sheikh Rashid, Sheikh Mohammed's father, had built. He invited people to come here, to set up their businesses here, to set up their lives here, and he saw it as a win-win situation. And I think that's exactly the same DNA or the same fabric of that culture. It's the same one. It's just on steroids now because the world is more global, the world is more connected. So I think it weaves very well from the original story of Dubai, even predating the United Arab Emirates, to where we are today. It just weaves, the story weaves itself so organically, and we really have the right DNA because of the history of our hospitality and the history of us being so used to being a culturally diverse society while still maintaining the Emirati heritage and the Emirati culture. I think it plays to our strengths in that way.
Amazing. Hoor, wherever I personally travel, even if we stay in a 5-star hotel, the first thing we say, it is very nice, but it's not like Dubai. It's not like Dubai. So how are you cooperating with the hotels and stakeholders to create this wow image in Dubai, specifically in the hospitality industry?
I definitely think the city has really made us spoilt for choice, not just in the hospitality sector, but in overall services and infrastructure as well. I know it's going to sound like super cheesy to say I love travel. Travel is part of my job. It's part of what I do. And even in the summer when I go with my kids, I just feel like I reach a point at some point, there's like a mark. I think it's like a 5 to 7 day mark where I'm like, I need the services back home, you know?
Take me back to Dubai.
But on that note, I think obviously the success of Dubai as a city beyond travel and tourism and hospitality, a main part of it is the relationship between the public and the private sector. There is a vision by the leadership. There's extreme support for the business sector and the private entities, again, to create kind of a win-win situation. If we hone down on hospitality specifically, all the work we do, for example, as a tourism board, I mean, we don't sell anything, right? We're a tourism board. We're here to, you know, we have the unified vision of the government on what we want to be as a tourism city, and then we facilitate the marketing and different elements of work, whether it's globally with our global partners or locally with our local stakeholders. So essentially, one of the key metrics of our success is how well the hospitality sector is doing, you know, and because we see them as our, you know, our customers, or, you know, we're serving them. Our existence serves the hospitality sector. So in that sense, I think, you know, there's different tiers of work that we do together. One of it being collaborative part. So we always make sure we have all the right information, you know, shared to the sector, whether the information is about the, you know, the relevant hospitality metrics, the different campaigns, or the different data that we see when it comes to like the citywide attraction of tourists, or, you know, what markets we're targeting, or where. And of course, the data it goes to both ways, right? Because we might be getting feedback from the sector that there are markets, for example, that we should be looking at that we're not. And we've taken many such feedback in the past. So there's a lot of collaboration, and then there's a lot of partnerships that come in that sense. We do joint activations together, be it marketing campaigns, be it B2B support, be it hosting fam trips. And you know, we just signed MOUs this year with 2 big hospitality chains, and there'll be more of that coming. So the partnership is strong in that sense. There's also an element of training and development and information support. So you're going to hear from my colleague Jeff later in the day, who represents the Dubai College of Tourism. The college is obviously an amazing platform for basically not just knowledge and support to the hospitality sector, but also to graduate, you know, future employees of hospitality and tourism sector as well, to support the industry in that sense. So I think there's a lot we do. And then finally, I almost forgot, the recognition. So when you talked about things like, you know, what a hotel in Dubai feels versus a hotel somewhere else, there's obviously the point about recognition, quality control, you know, the way we hold ourselves to certain standards when it comes to quality of the properties, and what we, you know, what we put our mark on as a 5-star or a 4-star, and working with the industry as such, but not just when it comes to star categories, but also categorization. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but recently we launched our Dubai Sustainable Strategy for hospitality sector, where we basically recognize the properties that have, you know, very strong sustainable practices. We have around 19 criteria that we look at. We support them by, you know, with tools like a carbon calculator to measure carbon footprint, and then in the end we basically award those hotels who are having sustainable practices with like the sustainable tourism stamp. So this year we awarded 70 hotels. And so obviously customers who are more sustainably conscious can know where to go to. And we're hoping to see that number go up as the world becomes more sustainably conscious, and just, you know, work more with the industry and initiatives like that.
You know, Hoor, mentioning sustainability, we had a session earlier today about AI and how do we use AI. So I was sitting there and I wrote on ChatGPT, give me one question that I should ask Hoor Alkhaja today. And ChatGPT told me, ask her about the sustainability behaviors that Dubai is doing, especially that today travelers and tourists, many of them are looking at sustainable options. So you answered my questions, but can you give me like 3 examples that Dubai is doing, is implementing on ground in terms of sustainable tourism?
Sure, that's, thank you, ChatGPT, for the
Yes.
question. So I think that was one example with the sustainable tourism strategy. Look, I think the interesting thing about Dubai, and I honestly, maybe in my naivety, I'm not sure how many other places I can say this about, but the beauty about Dubai is that because of the cohesive leadership, when there is a vision by the leadership, it usually trickles down to the city very strongly and very quickly. So let's give an example outside of sustainability. So a couple of years ago, I can't remember when, maybe 8 years ago, obviously our Crown Prince is very big on health. He's always been big on health, on sports, very active. And it's no secret that, you know, historically, I think the numbers have significantly changed now to the positive, but historically this region was one of the regions with the highest obesity rates, with the highest like cholesterol and blood, because of sedentary lifestyles and, you know, different kind of lifestyle reasons, right? And as His Highness started, you know, social media got bigger, his Instagram was all about like, you know, making sports cool and making the gym. I think I read a figure the other day, and I need to, maybe ChatGPT can confirm it after, but it's not so updated, that I think...
Please confirm with ChatGPT.
that I think Dubai has one of the highest like gym memberships per capita or something like so the trend, like, the change and the positive trend moves very quickly.
Yeah.
You know, I think we just wrapped up the fitness challenge this weekend. It was the 8th edition. It was one of the biggest turnouts for the Dubai run. I don't know who managed to go by a show of hands. No one?
Yeah, we have raised hands. Yeah.
Like, imagine around more than 200,000 people attended that run. You know, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, and that's, I mean, 200,000 people versus our population is a crazy number.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we? We're not even like a 10 million population. So exactly on that trend, I think the similar thing will happen on the sustainable side, because the leadership as well is very keen on pushing sustainability, not just because of, but even post the COP28.
Yes.
This year was the year of sustainability again, 2 years in a row. You know, the UAE is very committed to the UN SDG goals and the UAE net zero strategy. And so we've seen a lot of initiatives that came out after that. And then I think it will also trickle down to society. You know, things like moving from plastic to bottled waters. That was because of the Dubai Can initiative, which I'm sure most people are aware of by now. I mean, even the behavior changes at home, right? The behavior changes in hotel properties. Another thing that happened this weekend, right before the Dubai run, was, so I'm not sure if those of you have heard of the Dubai Reef project. It's another sustainability project. It's the largest single marine life development project in the world. And the idea is to fill 60 square kilometers of the seawater, I think, with marine life, and have around I don't know, thousands of modules. They launched the first 1,000 with Sheikh Mansour this weekend. So really, it's taking these kind of ambitious projects, you know, whether they're infrastructural projects, whether they're lifestyle enhancements, and actually putting them into reality rather than just putting it on a nice slide and then nothing happens after that.
And I believe COP28 created a lot of awareness in the public. So people understood more what is sustainability and how can I be a partner with the government to be more sustainable. This is why as well people are more conscious in their decisions and of course in their travel destinations. If we want to talk a little bit, Hoor, about the mega events that Dubai is hosting, we have mega events here, international events moving to Dubai, happening in Dubai. How are these affecting the attraction of MICE businesses? And are there any other initiatives that you are doing to attract MICE businesses?
I think Dubai has always been very well suited to attract large-scale events, particularly business ones, but even beyond business, for several reasons. Connectivity is a major part of it. Where we are, you know, blessed geographically in the world, we always like to say we are 4 hours away from 1/3 of the world and 8 hours away from 2/3 of the world. So it really is a really hot kind of spot to bring people together, right? And then obviously with the connectivity that we have with airlines like Emirates Airlines and Fly Dubai and others, and I think if I'm not mistaken, again, Dubai Airport has just been awarded the busiest airport in the world. So we are a big transit hub as much as we are an end destination. So generally, the infrastructure, the connectivity really does support attraction of big events. We do have a convention bureau. The Convention Bureau is a part of the DET, part of the same entity I work in, where they focus on supporting different MICE events across the year. But I think beyond that, as we move towards the kind of D33 strategy, you'll see different enhancements happening across the city, because our goals are always like super ambitious. And even though the city is already, we believe, a world-class city, we still have to, the supply has to meet the demand. So if we look at some of the upcoming infrastructural enhancements, there's a couple that would really support an ever-growing event sector. One is obviously all the airport expansions that have been announced of the DWC, and it being, eventually in the next 10 years or so becoming one of the biggest airports in the world, and our main airline operations shifting there, inshallah. That would really, really up the game in terms of how many more people we can absorb. And then we also recently had I think it was like a 10 billion dirham enhancement towards the Expo Center to basically be able to double the amount of events that it can host during the year. So I think it went from like 300 to 600 events, and that's also coming up in the next few years. So the city, as much as it's already, I think it's already the best city in the world. But as much as we think we've done a lot of things right, we're not against adding, improving, learning, changing.
Yeah.
And I think these are some of the things that are coming up that will further enhance not just MICE and business events, but generally larger scale events that the city can cater to.
And I believe we all agree that Dubai is a great example of flexibility and adaptability as well to what's happening in the world. Since the morning, we're having too many sessions, too many discussions, too many panels, keynote speakers talking about the hospitality industry, artificial intelligence, the change, of course, in the travel industry and in the travelers' decisions as well. So today, there is a lot of competitions worldwide, and traveling is becoming more and more a trend. How is Dubai working to stay strong, powerful on the global markets?
That's a very good question. I think, usually when you think of a city, or at least a major tourism hub, and I'm not going to name any, but usually when you think of a city, there's like kind of one thing that pops to mind, like one icon or one special thing to do. And I remember a couple of years ago, we were having this conversation in the office, like, what's our thing, And I think that Dubai's strength is that yes, there are icons across the city. We all know them, like the Burj Al Arab or the Burj Khalifa, or there's different icons depending on, what pops to mind when you say Dubai. But really our thing is that we don't have one thing. It's that there is a completely different Dubai depending on who you are and what you want, and there really is something for everyone. So yes, we do have this misconception that Dubai is like uber luxury and you can get like a 7-star experience, but it's only for the super rich and powerful. And that segment does exist. Yes, we do cater to the segment. We're proud that we have a world-class offering to that segment. But then there's also everything in between, So if we look at food, for example, if we look at gastronomy, you have everything from Michelin and 50 best. You have amazing kind of mid-range eateries in the malls or on Jumeirah Road or anywhere, like very, very everyday eateries that you will order on Deliveroo. And then you can get my favorite sambusa from Mina Bazaar for 2 dirhams at Farasian Cafeteria.
Yeah.
So like there really is the range of everything. And that same analogy goes across the different elements of tourism in the city. So whether we're talking about desert adventures, whether we're talking about entertainment, whether we're talking about icon. So the number one icon that probably comes to people's minds, or let's say two, let's say Burj Al Arab and Burj Khalifa. You can actually go and have your photo up and view them. Burj Khalifa, you can go and view the fountain show. You can stay there all day. The song plays every 30 minutes. It's a completely free experience. It's the biggest, choreographed music sound, light fountain. And it has songs like our cultural diversity that we spoke about. You'll find Khaliji songs, Western songs, K-pop, Chinese, you'll find everything, you know?
Yeah.
So these things are completely free as well. So I think that the beauty of Dubai is that there is something for everyone, regardless of the demographic. You're a family, you're an older couple, you have small kids, you have teenagers, you're a solo traveler, you're women traveling alone, you know? You think about safety, and there really is a good fit. And I always like to say, even as residents or people who live here, like the kind of Dubai I experience every day is very different than the kind of Dubai you experience, very different than the kind of Dubai my mother, who's like a 60-plus-year-old, more traditional Emirati lady would experience. Like we have very different versions of Dubai. They're all real. They're all authentic. It's just what makes it your Dubai or my Dubai.
Yeah. If you want to describe the future of tourism in one word, how do you describe it?
Putting me on the spot. Just generally tourism?
General.
It's Dubai.
It's Dubai. Yes, yes. We have here in the room many people, or everyone loving Dubai. So if we want to tell today what is in the pipeline in Dubai tourism, getting ready for this future, for Dubai's future, and if you want to tell them maybe something different and unique, what would you share with us?
So I think I would like to leave everyone with a general message that even beyond tourism, in Dubai we have a vision called the D33, which is the 2033 vision, His Highness's 10-year vision, to make the city not just one of the best places to live in, to visit, but also to live in, to work in, and to invest in. For us, because I look after the tourism part from the economic entity, we see ourselves as the first touch point. You know, we are, if you're going to move somewhere or you're going to invest somewhere, you're going to see yourself, you know, even if you're, you know, remote working, because we do have a big segment of that, you're going to want to come and tip your toes, test the water, see what you feel, you know. So we take the responsibility that we see ourselves as the first touch point to this city that we feel is the city of the ages. And the tourism experience doesn't start here. For us, it starts all the way from when they're making their trip, whether they're doing it online or through a travel agent or what. It starts from there. That's why we support all the different travel agents and travel partners globally, all the way to when they enter their flight, which we hope is an Emirates or Fly Dubai flight. And then the experience through the airport, their transportation, their, wherever they're staying. Sometimes they're with friends and relatives. Sometimes they're in a wonderful property that our hospitality sector offers, all the way to the different attractions and the foods and the senses and the smells and the, whatever comes with the city, right? And so we take this responsibility very seriously. And beyond all, we spoke about all the infrastructure enhancements, and we spoke about all the developments, and Dubai will keep developing. I mean, there's stuff I wouldn't even know about. It's beyond my paycheck, right? I'll find out when you find out. But I think, again, I'd like to go back to the example I gave about what, when Sheikh Rashid, the modern founder of Dubai, the founder of modern Dubai and the modern founder of Dubai, because he was very forward-looking at his time, that, we've always been about inviting people, celebrating different cultures, being tolerant, everyone can be themselves, and we celebrate all kinds of, even if you look at our calendar of festivities, we celebrate all kinds of religious and cultural festivals. We want to make people feel seen and heard and celebrated and respected. And I think beyond all the glitz and the glam and the investments and all the fancy stuff that we usually talk about in these panels, that element of Dubai will always be there. Because again, this is what makes the fabric of the society. It's not something we made up. It's just how it's been. It's weaved very deeply into the fabric of the society. And I think that is what will continue to make Dubai succeed. And that's the kind of lens we always have on when we talk about tourism or all the different sectors beyond tourism. Because ultimately, yes, you can have all the best tech in the world and all the best investments in the world, but what's going to make you move somewhere, live somewhere, visit somewhere, you need to feel that that real touch, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're truly about beyond all the glitz and the glam.
After all what Hoor said today, I would go back to how I described Dubai in the beginning, a breathing canvas of possibilities and opportunities. And I believe, like Hoor just said, Dubai moves all our senses in a different way. So we see Dubai, everyone has like a spot that remembers or that reminds him of Dubai. We smell Dubai in a nice way, in a different way, in a delicious way. We can hear the sound of Dubai as well, everyone from his own perspective. We can taste Dubai from different cuisines here in one place. And we can touch a shiny, clean, inclusive Dubai. Thank you for having us, and thank you for making us feel that Dubai is home to every one of us from all around the world.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Hoor Alkhaja.